Today, we're diving into something that bridges imagination and reality, but in a way grounded in neuroscience, history, and even ancient philosophy. Ready to see the world from a whole new perspective? Let's begin. When I was a kid, I used to climb this enormous oak tree in my backyard. Sitting there, I would imagine entire worlds, dragons flying through the skies, kingdoms hidden beneath the forest floor. It all felt so real in those moments, though of course it wasn't, at least not in the way adults define reality. Or was it? That memory of days spent in the oak tree brings us to a philosophical question. Does reality only exist when observed, or does imagination itself have the power to define it? This isn't just idle speculation. Quantum physics shows us that particles behave differently when observed, hinting that perception plays a role in shaping reality. But here's a lesser-known fact. Experiments with quantum entanglement demonstrate that two particles can influence each other instantly, even across vast distances. Could this mean that reality isn't just observer-dependent, but also shaped by the relationships between what we observe? Let's pause for a moment to look at how our brain actually sees. When we look at something, it feels like our eyes are simply capturing what's in front of us. But in reality, our eyes are just lenses collecting light, and it's the visual cortex in our brain that processes that light and turns it into an image. Fascinatingly, studies on people with Charles Bonnet syndrome, who see vivid hallucinations despite being blind, reveal that our brain can generate images entirely on its own, without any external stimuli. The philosopher Immanuel Kant would argue that what we call reality is a construct assembled in the mind, filtered through time and space. Now let's look at Luis Alvarez, a 20th century physicist who helped solve the mystery of the dinosaurs' extinction. What does that have to do with vision and imagination? Alvarez was a master of connecting seemingly unrelated ideas, allowing him to propose hypotheses others wouldn't dare to consider. Did you know it was Alvarez who, based on a peculiar global layer of iridium, theorized that an asteroid impact caused the mass extinction? It's a reminder that imagination drives scientific discovery, especially when evidence is scarce. You might be wondering, Oli, how does this all connect? It turns out that what we actively imagine can physically reshape our brains. Scientists have discovered a phenomenon called neuroplasticity, our brain's ability to rewire itself based on experience. For example, when musicians practice or athletes visualize their movements, the neurons in their brains form stronger connections. Here's a lesser-known insight. Studies on visualization during meditation suggest that regularly imagining positive scenarios can lower cortisol levels, the stress hormone. Imagination, in a very real way, physically sculpts your brain. Even ancient philosophies recognize this connection. The Greek philosopher Plato spoke of a world of forms, where ideas shape reality rather than the other way around. This aligns with modern neuroscience's view of neural pathways being shaped by our inner thoughts. Here's an example that turns everything upside down: the famous dress photograph. Do you see it as white and gold or blue and black? Depending on how your brain interprets light and context, your answer might differ. But did you know this viral image inspired research into brain lateralization? Scientists discovered that people who saw different colors might process visual information slightly differently. Let's take a historical example to drive the point home. Think of Leonardo da Vinci, who painted some of the most lifelike art the world has ever seen, not by merely copying what was in front of him. His genius lay in imagining and calculating what was unseen, like the movement of muscles and bones beneath the skin. Did you know Da Vinci was one of the first artists to study how light reflects off human skin, making his paintings incredibly realistic? Now let's get personal. Have you ever imagined a better version of yourself? Dreamed of something you'd like to achieve, only to dismiss it as just my imagination? What if I told you there's growing evidence that those imaginative exercises could impact your reality? Not in a mystical sense, but through practical changes in how you interact with the world. Psychologists like Carol Dweck study concepts like the growth mindset. They've found that people who visualize success and frame challenges as opportunities are far more likely to achieve their goals. Here's a lesser-known tidbit. In one study, athletes who visualized their training improved their performance without any physical practice, simply by activating the same brain areas they would use during actual movement. Even Albert Einstein believed in the power of imagination. He famously said, "Imagination is more important than knowledge, for knowledge is limited, whereas imagination embraces the entire world." Could he have developed the theory of relativity without thinking beyond the boundaries of known science? Creativity, and its inseparable twin, imagination, has pushed humanity forward, from discovering fire to landing on the moon. Here's the paradox. While imagination can create reality, it's also bound by it. Our experiences and memories limit what our minds can envision. This creates a beautiful loop. Our minds build reality, but our perception of reality is shaped by imagination. And I find that awe-inspiring. Let me leave you with this. Could you carve out a few minutes each day to engage your imagination? Maybe a little longer to see if your reality might shift in response? Share with me. What vision would you like to bring to life? Thank you for exploring these ideas with me. If this sparked your curiosity, hit like, subscribe, and share your thoughts. Let's keep unraveling the mysteries of the universe together. See you next time.